of timeless beauty, of strength and victory, of age-old wisdom, of eternal bonds, of equal lives, of flamboyant colors. Nagaland, a land of festivals. They came by the busloads, 16 tribes from 11 districts. We could hear their proud cries long before we saw them. Dressed in their signature regalia, ready to take the Hornbill Festival by storm. Soon, travelers follow from around the world. Here they come, from far and even further, to meet new people, strike new friendships, and witness the annual coming together of tribes from around Nagaland.
What I find absolutely incredible is that you can turn up any day of the week during Hornbill and you'll find all the tribes over here performing morning till late into the afternoon with the same amount of enthusiasm and excitement.
This is a festival for the traveler as much as it is for the tribes. A celebration of song, music, cuisine and courage.
We consider Nagaland state to be a land of festivals. Almost through the year, we have one or the other festival because you see this state consists of at least 16 major tribes. And each tribe has its own culture, its own way of life. And all that is brought out in some or the other festival that we hold.
I find that the Nagas have a lot of unity, village-wise, tribe-wise, they are very well knit together. And suppose one person has been educated from a village, you find the anxiety on the part of the villager, whoever has been educated, Neha, to educate the rest.
Another community is fast forming at the festival. Photographers. Here for colors, the faces, the action, the setting. A feast for the senses, a treat for every lens.
I think it's great access to see the colors, the different, especially because you can't go to all the tribes, and to see all of their finery in one place. So if you are doing portrait shots, it's fantastic. They've got all the ornaments that they wear for all the festivals. They're also having fun. They're not putting on a show. You can actually see that they're having fun. So that's great.
The thing about wonderful days is that they do come to an end. It takes some of us a bit longer for that thought to sink in. Of all the districts that I have visited over my travels, there are few I am yet to see. So I am going to be journeying from Kohima to Kifri via Phek to meet the Pochuri, Sangtam and Yimchungar tribes. After 7 days of sunshine came a night-long rain. It's going to be a deliciously slow morning where everything looks green and I can smell the earth.
Phek is one area where it is forest, virgin forest exist, rich in biodiversity. That is comparable to no other place.
The the scent of citrus. All over Meluri, oranges are blossoming. Clearly, a little drizzle is no reason not to do the community chores. Or play games. Games that seem a lot more fun in the slush on a handmade toy cart.
Naga society, the greatest strength is community-based. So in a village or in a community, when the community comes together as a whole, when they pass resolutions or certain systems to be followed, then no individual is allowed to violate, no matter how high or a person's status may be. And that is where we take our pride.
And where does the community gather on a cold, wet day? Around the hearth of a Naga kitchen. Ah, this looks inviting. A warm cup of tea, familiar comforts. Despite a totally unfamiliar language. Even some homemade popcorn. Sharing what you have with each other and easy togetherness. I may just be another visitor to this town, but while I'm here, I am part of the family. My 2-day road journey to Kifri from Kohima continues from Meluri. The bobbing flowers this morning match nicely with my woolly purple cap. A happy start to my day. Along the way, I see a spot where I must make an unscheduled stop. Gurgling river, a thatched hut, open window, signs of rural life, far away from city concerns. Everyone's out working at the fields, except for these little ones who have better things to do than give me that customary Naga welcome. It's a sign I should be on my way. The further we go from Kohima, the skies get brighter and the roads a bit worse. A daring ride over a creaky bridge. The journey to Kifri is not for wimps. A 7-hour drive without many markers along the way. But it depends on what you mean by landmarks. No chai shops or restaurants for sure. But if you're happy watching the play of light and shadow, hours will pass in no time. Laughter. We must be approaching a village. Is it me they're laughing at? This is Felungar, the village of the Santams. I'd heard Sangtams were friendly. A couple of people joined me. And in no time, the whole village. Yes, they all want to see this strange new person visiting their town perched in a valley. Stew is on the boil. It is a festive day. And as for the giggly girls, it wasn't me they were laughing at. It was the boy, the designated cook for the day. Who, by the way, is quite happy to play to the gallery. And then it's time for what happens at the drop of a hat in Nagaland. An on-the-spot dance for a passing visitor. Like everywhere in the world, clothes say everything about you in Nagaland. Decked out in their beads, these Sangtam women are all married. I guess I'll have to sit this dance out. Kifri has the highest altitude in all of Nagaland. So when the bright sun suddenly vanishes, it leaves you cold by 4 p.m. Children get sleepy and mothers tired. But I had to catch the last of the sun. Felungar, though small, has a feather in its cap. It's one of the last villages in Nagaland where you can see old-fashioned slate roofs.
They live on high altitude, and so it's on a rocky hill. So it's only the rock that is available. The whole area is covered almost by the slates, and here they get very good quality of slates. With this, they make their houses also.
I'm hoping I stay the night under one of these traditional slate roofs before I continue my journey to Kifri town tomorrow. Kifri district is also known as the land of rivers. Crisscrossed with rivers, its biggest one is Zinki, which eventually meets Chitwan in Myanmar. Thomas is a local resident. He tells me about his love for Zinki and how it is a lifeline for the people of Kifri district.
Most of the people nearby this river, they make use of this river for collecting stones, sands.
Stones and sand being the essential building blocks of this region.
It gives economic productivity also.
For centuries, people have used bridges like this to reach the other side of the river.
Traditionally, it was made by rope and firewood, but these days it is completely changed. It is made of iron now.
Today, it's even possible for cars and jeeps like ours to ply these creaky yet tough constructions. But it was what Thomas explained next that I found most exciting. The ancient folk story surrounding the river Zinki, a fable. In a small village by Zinki River, a young group of Sangtam girls played every day. Of all of them, the most beautiful was Achilla. Chilla, who after a long day of work in the fields would settle down by the banks of the river all by herself. Here, she would spend a precious few moments having a little something to eat or drink. Achila thought she was alone, but little did she know she was being watched by Zinky himself. Seeing her every day by his shores, he fell in love with her. One day she heard his voice calling out her name. When she wouldn't go to him, the river started to rise. She made him offerings, but Zinky was adamant. He threatened to swallow up her village. So younger Chilla made the great sacrifice for the sake of her people. While we all grew up with stories such as these, here in Nagaland, people seem to live by them, making these stories part of everyday life. I traveled to Sulomi at the base of Mount Saramati. Here too, the legend is as big as the mountain.
Surrounding Mount Saramati, there's so many devils are there, and as if like human beings, they are shouting. We can still we can hear ancient time or forefather in thick forest. If you go to hunting, we used to worship such a big tree and rocky. If we find, we used to give a worship to evil, giving little rice and chili and salt, and expecting to get a wild animals while going hunting. After going there, if we feel sick, we used to offer this chicken a leaf.
The Yimchungars might not be a major tribe, but they are known to be formidable hunters. After all, they live in the rockiest parts of Nagaland. They're said to be as sure-footed as mountain goats. So when the men folk offered to take me on a short hike to see Mount Saramati, I knew I was in for a tough climb. Now this is the highest point in Salumi. The entire village is down there. But this that you see is the highest point in all of Nagaland, Mount Saramati. It takes a 3-day trek to scale the heights of Mount Saramati. The local Yimchungars will do a little ritual to keep you safe from the evil spirits before sending you on your way. I think I'll save that adventure for next time. Through good roads and bad ones. on great days and ordinary ones. Under the eastern sun, along the western wind. With the help of friendly faces across unfriendly terrain. We have travelled through the furthest reaches of the east of India, Nagaland.